Do I make money? That's a good question. I got a check when I signed the contract, and it's called an advance. And so the amount of money that I would make off each book until that adds up to the amount of money I got when I signed the contract, I don't make any money, but after that, I'll get a little bit of money for everyone that buys a book.
Wow.
And the wow, am I right? Yeah.
Were there some times when you just throw the book away?
Times when I wanted to give up? Yes, absolutely. Like I said in the speech, editing is really difficult, and sometimes it can be really frustrating, and so sometimes I was like, you know what? So I would just set it aside, and I would calm myself down, and I'd come back to it hours later, and I would just keep working, keeping my end goal in mind of I'm going to get this published, and it's going to happen. And the Adidas jacket. Okay, go ahead. The grade level falls under middle grade fiction, so that's between 4th and 7th grade is the target audience. You have a second question? Okay. Yes, the genre is time travel, science fiction, and fantasy. Well, I was actually recommended the Harry Potter books by Miss Luther, and so when I started reading Harry Potter, I really got into magic, and from there, I just loved it, and I decided that I wanted to read more. Right there. That's a really good question. Yes, I did have to research a lot because there's historical fiction in it, and the historical events are to save Abraham Lincoln from being assassinated, stopping the Titanic from sinking, and warning people at Pearl Harbor. Yeah, so I did a lot of research to make sure everything was historically accurate. So yes, hours and hours and hours of research. Right there. I read the book, I would say hundreds of times. I would print it out and I would take it in a binder to school during 8th grade, and I would edit it during the day, and then I would come home, type up the edits, print it out, and then do it all over again. So I've read the book a lot, and I know it by heart. In the pink in the back.
Does anyone die?
Yes, there is some people that are killed in the book, and I'm not going to tell you who. I guess you're going to have to read it to find out, but yes, there is some death in there. I love that you guys love that. Amazing. All right, in the pink and white stripes. The Stone of the Cedo was actually designed by our graphic designer, who did the cover and the poster, and the little graphic that you saw on the first slide was also done by the graphic designer, so it's totally unique and original and amazing. All right, in the flannel. It's a good question. Some of my favorite authors are J.K. Rowling, and I also love Veronica Roth, who did the Divergent series because that kind of falls in the sci-fi genre, and so I love Veronica Roth. Also Rick Riordan, who did Percy Jackson. So those are like my 3 biggest role models, but J.K. Rowling presides over at them all. Okay, go ahead. Yes, writer's block is a serious issue. I will sometimes be writing and then I'll just stop and I have no idea what to write. So I'll leave a space, I'll go eat a snack or watch Shark Tank or something, and then I'll come back and I'll continue. We have some Shark Tank fans, awesome. All right, right there. Actual friends, I don't base any character off of any one person, and I try not to use names of people I know, but now that I'm in high school, there are some names that are in the book of people that I know, like my friend Ava's in there, but no one person is based off of any other one person. In the blue. To edit the book once, it generally takes to get through a whole draft of the book, I would say 5 days to a week, but I did that a lot. And as I would go through it, I would be able to read it faster and faster, so it took less time. In the orange.
So when you were editing and writing, your house was full of papers?
Yes, my house was full of papers as I was editing, because like I said, I would print it out, I would go through it, my mom would go through it, my dad would go through it, my brother refused to go through it, but the 3 of us, would go through it, and we would stack them on the kitchen table so I could type up the edits and check them and go back to them if I needed. Okay, and the yellow. Yellow too. Right? Yes. You guys will be getting order forms and bookmarks with the information. You can also get them through Miss Bullinger. They're about $12. And the bookmarks that you guys will be getting will have the information for the publisher's website and on Amazon. And if you order them through here, the books will come to you signed by moi. Okay. A day? That's a really good question. I think I spend 2 to 3 hours writing and editing every day, and on weekends probably more because I had a lot more free time, so closer to like 4 or 5.
Okay, Sarah, who were your editors? How did you do that?
I had my editors through the publishing company, which is Blue Books, and so Mrs. Smitten found me an editor named Miss Mackenzie, and she lives out in Montana, and so she went through the book and helped me with some editing, and then Mrs. Smitten herself took a look at it.
And like you said, you did have a choice in the cover of the book.
I
A lot
did.
of people have that choice.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, the cover is exactly how I wanted it to be, and it's 100% perfect.
I think it's great. Okay, let me tell you that. Let's get Sarah.